What is good? What is good, everybody? Happy fucking Friday, guys. I got my brother Justin Truax up here today. It's been a minute since me and Justin went live. Those of you guys who used to watch our old lives, I'm sure you have seen his beautiful face up here many times with
Hey, what's
me. But the boys are back. We're not calling today. We're actually breaking down a closed deal that we did where we made $40,000 this year. So, Justin, first, you want to introduce yourself and tell everybody how you are doing?
Hell yeah. What's up, y'all? Happy Friday. It's Justin Truax here. Um, Wholesaling nationwide, specifically Kentucky, Florida, and North Carolina. And I'm still a full-time nurse. So if I can do it, you can do it too.
1,000%. 1,000%. So, Justin, why don't you tell us how we got this deal? Where did the deal come from? And tell me like the beginnings of this deal.
Mm-hmm. Am I allowed to say the seller's first name?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So our buddy Garth was a seller. I'm not gonna say his last name, privacy, all that stuff. But so I reached out to him. He had a property in Florida. This was at least over a year ago, maybe beginning like in January of 2024. He wanted way too much for this property in Florida, but the main thing, don't forget, guys, keep following up. So I kept following up. This property in Florida was definitely not a wholesale deal. Followed up months and months and months, and then right around in August of 2024, I said, "Hey Garth, do you have any other property or land you'd be interested in selling?" And he said, "I'm sure you'd probably not be interested, but I have this long-term care facility in Michigan." And light bulbs went off in my head because I was like, "Shoot, there's no way I know how to get this deal done, but collaboration over competition. Let me reach out to my boy Joey." And from there, we got it started, but it was a journey.
It was a fucking journey. So, I get a call from Justin one day. This was when I remember I was living back in my old house in Ciudad del Rio,
Mm,
Medellin. And I get a call from Justin, and he's like, Joey, I have this guy. He has a long term care facility he's looking to sell. Is there anything we could do with this? And I'm like, I have no idea. Let's see. So we look into the deal, look at the numbers, and he wanted, I think he just wanted 300 and was it 325?
mhm.
He wanted $325,000. And I'm looking everywhere. I saw it had sold. He had bought it for like 100 grand a couple years ago, and there's just no comps. There's like nothing here. So me being me, I'm like, okay, well, let's look into the deal a little bit deeper. What's it producing right now? What are the numbers that it's bringing in? So lo and behold, it was bringing in a little bit over $30,000 a month,
Sheesh.
and they were self managing it. So I'm like, the comps here suck. Like this doesn't look like anything we could get done. But cash flow wise, this sounds like a really good fucking deal. So I get on the phone with him. We get on a call. We end up negotiating a little bit, and I want to say, was it 295 we locked at the deal for, or did we stay at the 325?
I think we got him down to 295, I think.
Okay. This
Yeah.
was a while ago, guys. This was a year. This was literally
Over,
last
yeah.
August that we went to negotiate this thing. But I believe we had ended up locking him in at $295,000. Yeah, it was 295. So I'm looking at the deal and we're going to market it. And I'm like, okay, let's just add 100 grand on top of this, see what we could do with this. It's netting a lot of money a month. At the time, it was probably netting about 26,000 a month with them self-managing it. So I'm like, I mean, fuck, 26 grand a month. Let's do the math really quick, guys. What is that a year? I think it was like 355 grand a year is what it was pulling in. Hold on. 26,000 times
Yeah,
12.
like,
312 is what it was netting.
yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's netting what we're about to buy
Um,
it for. Like, that's fucking crazy. So we end up getting on on the call with Garth the first time. Really nice guy, like really nice guy. And going into everything, he ends up having bone marrow cancer.
mm,
So that was the reason that he had to sell the property. And essentially, he he just wanted to make sure it could get done. God forbid anything happened to him. So they were going to sell it a lot more than they bought it, make about 200 grand. They were both happy with that. And I actually ended up, I'm pretty sure we signed the contract on the first call I ever called him on. It was actually like very smooth.
Yeah.
So like literally call him, one call closed on a freaking long-term care facility. Get the deal, start marketing it. We had put it out for about 100 grand, 150 grand. I forget what it was at the time. I think it was about 100 grand above. Hold on, let me change the thing. Shirtless charm, almost as nice. This was from Jordan yesterday.
I was like, something's different here. Shirtless charmer.
There we go. The
There we
normal
go.
stuff.
The OG.
As Jordan just pops into the live on Instagram. Was good, you little weirdo. So we get the deal, start to market it, and I have a mentor here in Medellin, Robert, and I basically sent the deal to Robert, and he's like, "Do you care if I tack on a little bit on top?" I'm like, "I don't care, whatever you want to do. If you could sell it at that price, like let's sell it. We're gonna split it. Cool, we're good to go." So he ends up actually selling it for $225,000 more than we had the contract for. Like assignment signed, $20,000 deposit posted, the whole nine, right? But as we're starting to market the deal, get through it, we're getting the financials, we had to get everything we needed to get this deal done. Guys, when you're doing commercial deals, you're doing stuff that's coming with a lot of houses or a lot of tenants. You need financials. You need proof that the property is doing what we think it's supposed to be doing. So they gave us everything. They gave us tax returns, bank statements, like everything you could ever need to prove that the money was coming in correctly. They were willing to work with us. Very good people, Garth and Odette. And yeah, they basically gave us everything that we needed to get this thing done. So the buyer that was going to buy it, he actually was liquid at the time, but he didn't want to put all of his cash into it. He wanted to just put maybe 100 grand down, finance the rest. I think we had sold it for, it was like 625. We got to make sure we have the numbers right, because it was 625 is what we sold it for.
Mm-hmm.
25
and under contract
minus,
for what? 295.
that would be 330. So we might have been at 395, bro.
395. Yeah, it was like 200.
It might have been 395. He might have wanted 410 or some shit at first, and we sold it for 395, something like that. I can go back in the records and check really quick. Why don't I do that,
Y'all,
Justin?
this was in August of 2024 when we first started talking to the seller. So our numbers, we're trying to remember it, but a lot has happened since August of 2024 to now. And a lot of deals have come through. So remember in this big giant one.
We sold it for 625.
625.
And then I got to go back and find the original. I don't even know if I could find that original purchase agreement. That was from a long time ago. It was, hold on. No, not in here. Hold on, we're gonna find this shit, guys. This was a title commitment, addendum, wire instructions assignment, wire info. Dude, this deal had so many contracts on it, it wasn't even funny. Like literally, you have no idea. If you guys saw my email right now for the amount of contracts that we had, hold on, the amount of addendums that we had to sign. 1 second.
And stress. Me bugging Joey.
$395,000 is what the contract for. They wanted 410. We negotiated them down to 395. We were 100 grand off. Cool. So we sold it for 625. But along the process, the first hiccup that happened was the seller saw my social media. He literally found me on social media to see who he was getting into business with and saw that I'm on these lives with my freaking shirt off. So he calls my transaction coordinator, Junior, at the time, and was basically like, what is going on? Why does this guy have his freaking shirt off all over social media? And Junior's like, that's just Joey. That's just how he is. Freaking, like, very good guy. very honest, very genuine. He's literally that's just his brand. That's the only reason that he does
Shameless
it.
closer.
So this was the first seller to ever find me on social media, see me with my shirt off, and kind of was like a little weirded out by it at first. But we pulled it back in, reeled it back in. He was cool, got us all the financials, everything we needed. So the next step we had to do was go find go get the buyer some lending, because he wanted to basically get lending on the 625. So I was told, the owner Garth actually had a SBA lender that you could get a small business loan on long-term care facilities, because it is a small business. So we were going to reach out to the SBA. They were going to get us a loan. We weren't going to do the big loan. There was something called, I forget if it was an expedited loan, an express loan. It's called SBA Express. That was the name of the loan. They were telling me they were going to get us $500,000, and he was just going to have to put up 125. So he was good with that. Everything was going to be good. And we went for 3 months through this process. So now it's like November, December. And I think it was October, November, December. December comes up. We get the approval. He got approved for $150,000. So we're fumbling here. Like, he had just bought, the buyer ended up buying like a bunch of equipment for his business, something like that. So he was no longer as liquid as he was to begin with. And we had to figure out a different way. The seller wanted 125 days to close from when we signed. We signed it in August. He wanted to close the beginning of the next year. He just wanted to make sure that he had enough time to get his affairs in order. He had something going on in the background. Just wanted to make sure everything was good. So we were giving him the time to get everything in order. And then basically what happened from there was we fucking had to scramble and figure out loans. So I got Justin calling different lenders, trying to find SBA lenders in Michigan, trying to find any lender that could lend on this deal, hard money, private money, whatever. We're like, I'm trying to raise money for this guy. I start reaching out to everybody I've ever talked to. I had a doctor that freaking used to I raised like $210,000 for a deposit from him in the past. He was somewhat willing to give it, but then he realized because it was long-term care, he's a doctor, he didn't feel comfortable. It was too much in his medical field. He didn't want to lend it. We ended up getting other loans from the SBA lender that we thought we were going to get almost up to the full 500. They had like all these micro loans they could lend. These loans were like $21,000 a month. Like, they were like ridiculous interest, 1 year loan term, whole loan paid off within that year. Like, it was just like ridiculousness. So we're sitting here trying to figure out how to scramble, trying to get this thing done. It was just one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. So as we're going through this, January rolls around. I'm not going to get too deep into details, but the seller made an investment and they actually got screwed over for a gigantic sum of money, like gigantic. And they had invested in this like crypto, stocks, whole funds. Fund screwed them over, unfortunately. I still don't know what's going on with that now, but I think they got like completely screwed over by these people, unfortunately. And like, it sucks because they're such good fucking people. So they were banking on that, selling this to be able to retire. Obviously that comes up and I get a call January. No, this was December still. I'm at the gym back in New Jersey because my visa expired here in Colombia. I had to go home. And I'm working out at the fucking gym early morning, get a call from the seller, and he's like, yeah, so we can't sell anymore. We're going to have to hold off on selling. And guys, like, we're getting close on the SBA. We're trying to figure out any way to figure this deal out. I'm seeing like we're banking on making a shit ton of money on this deal. And my heart fucking sinks. I'm just like, oh my God. So I talked to him. I'm like, look, we're going to figure out a way. Tell me what's going on. Let me see what we could do. We're going to figure out a way one way or another. So the ends up telling me what happened with him getting screwed over. My mentor works with a lot of people that are in this field and knows a lot of bankers and everything that like understand everything, all the intricacies of this stuff. So he did some deep research, found everything out. Whole bunch of people complaining that it was a scam, the whole nine. Now I'm back in Colombia. We're still trying to figure this out with them. The deal's still on hold for right now. And essentially, like, we're finally getting it figured out where they're like, we do need to sell. Like, we can't hold on to this anymore. We can't keep maintaining this. So we do need to sell. We get that part worked out. So it's like, cool. So now the buyer, we're still working out finding funds, figuring out a way to get it done, um, and just going back and forth with him for the next 2 months. So now I'm back in New Jersey. Lending wasn't coming through. We had a bunch of lenders that were like, yeah, we could do this. Yeah, we could do this. Yeah, we could do this. No one could fucking do it. We're in New Jersey now. The buyer was willing to close if me and my mentor went into the deal with him. So we were about to buy this ourselves. I'm back in, I think my twin had her baby in, it was either March. I believe it was March. Having the baby in March, I come home, she's about to have the baby, and I get a call that we're taking the deal down. It's all worked out. We're good to go. We're going to figure it out. We're actually going to buy this thing now. So that was where we were about to do. That was literally what was about to happen. Justin was going to get paid out a big ass assignment fee on this. Me and Robert were going to take ownership, manage it, do the whole nine. And it was all looking good for a second. So I'm sitting here thinking that we're going to take down the deal. And next thing you know, what happens, Justin?
Another call. It gets
Buyer,
delayed.
what happened on that other call?
It's delayed because the buyer wants to back out. After we've been in this deal together for, what was it?
From August to March,
What is that, like 8 months maybe?
8 months.
8 months. Everything was fine with the buyer. We were figuring it out. I'm calling to try to get funding. We're all like all on the same team trying to get this thing closed. And then he calls us in March. Bad news. He's
So
backing up.
like he's trying to back out, and for this time period, guys, he's like not answering the phone for weeks on end. He ended up going on a trip to Japan. There was just so much stuff that kept coming up on this deal. It was just insane. So finally, me and him connect on a call, and he basically was just like, "Look, take the deposit. I can't get this done. I don't feel comfortable moving forward with the deal. I tried to go every route you ever could go on this thing to make him feel comfortable. He ends up backing out. We had to take the 20K deposit and find another buyer. So that's where the first 20K was made. And it was like a consolation prize. It was like, fuck, like nothing feels good about this right now.
Right.
So that was part number one of this deal, guys. Then I'm like, Justin, it's all good. We're gonna figure it out. We
I'm
always
bugging Joey
do.
like every day. Joey, come on. What's the news? Joey.
Those
Yeah.
of you guys that know me know I'm Mr. Figure It Out. That's like literally my favorite saying to ever say in the world. For anything that ever goes wrong, I'm like, it's all good. We'll figure it out. So we remarket the deal, get a couple buyers interested. We got a local buyer interested. We got a big buyer or a buyer from Arizona interested. And it's looking like we're starting to get some traction finally. This took a long time to figure out, but we ended up, I wasn't putting it up for 625 anymore. I think we're in the like 550 we're going to try to put it out for and just see if we could get something done. So we get this one guy interested, and he is like, owns a long-term care facility in Kalamazoo, which is very close to the property. Very interested. Seems like he's going to take it. I have my other buyer interested at an even higher number. He's one of my Jersey buyers that does long-term care facilities in New Jersey. I thought he was going to take it. Like, he was fucking cool ass dude. Always done good business with him. He ends up not being interested just because it was too far. So literally, we're 9, 10 months into the deal. No buyer to show for it. Sellers are like, you got a couple more weeks, so we're gonna have to figure out a different option. They put all their trust in me. I'm on the phone with them, like, guys, I am going to war on this thing to the best of my ability. Like, I am physically going to do anything in my power to get this done. I'm gonna figure it out. So thank God we had the rapport with them at this point. Like literally, when I tell you guys, I would talk to Garth on the phone for hours on end. Me and him would be crying, laughing. Like, he was such a good fucking person, guys, and like he just such good memories with this guy. But very good rapport. We were very close. He trusted me. Odette, his wife, trusted me. They knew I was here to get this done for them. I was going to do anything in my power if I had it to get it done. Oh, forgot to say one part. We actually missed the part that happened in the middle of the deal. I'm back home in Medellin, Colombia. This was January. And I get a call from Garth. Joey, I think the title company sent me a wrong document.
Oof.
I'm like, what'd they send you? He's like, how much are you guys selling this for? And I was
Oof.
like, we're obviously making a big profit here. Like that's how we do our business. He's like, well, I know you guys are selling this for 625,000.
Oof.
And I'm like, guys, my heart fucking sank. Balls in my throat, the whole nine. Like I'm like,
Tail between the legs.
there's no way this is a conversation right now that I'm having. So I'm freaking the fuck out for a second. My heart starts racing, the whole nine. And he's basically like, look, Joey, I understand you're a businessman. Like, this is like, you're not trying to screw me over here. I get it. You agreed on, we agreed on a price. We're getting it. We're happy. He's like, but you need to do everything in your power so my wife doesn't see this. If my wife sees this, she will kick me out of the house. I don't even know how she will react. Like, it's just that he's like, I don't care what you guys are making. I understand business, but if she sees this, she's gonna kill me.
Think about the rapport too, like to have with the seller where like he trusts you so much where he's like, hey, like we're good, but just be careful. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
So I told him, like, first of all, we are double closing on this, which means like we are actually funding this at the 395 that we have the contract at. Second of all, who sent the fucking email? Send me their fucking name right
Right?
now.
We need to get on a call with him.
Tells me who sent him the email, tracked him down from the title company. They tried saying they never sent it or it was an accident or what. Like they wouldn't take any accountability, which pissed me off, but whatever. That's another story for another day. They end up basically apologizing, whatever. My bad, it happened. Someone from our department, a new person sent it over. We apologize. But that was that. I put Garth at ease. I was like, look, man, we're double closing on this. We literally we're gonna go in at this point. So I'm like, we're probably actually making money to buy this. So we have money in reserves. That's why we're making so much on this. That was the God's honest truth at that point. But yeah, so that's what happened. That was the scariest moment of my life, I think I should say, in business. Like that was just like, yeah, like dagger in my heart. So that happens. Then now, cool, buyer backs out, looking for a new buyer. Finally, get these guys that are interested in the deal, and they live in Arizona. They wanted to fly out to go walk the property, and we let them fly out once. Everything was good, and then they wanted to go back to go observe everything, just make sure like everything added up. They needed to make sure that like the tenants were getting treated the right way, the whole nine, just so that they knew that they were buying a good asset, which is very understandable. So the guys that ended up these are the guys that did end up buying the property. They the journey to get them to purchase this property was insanity. So we actually ended up pivoting. Like I was trying to see if the sellers would have done a subject to even temporarily. They were not down to do a subject to, like not even remotely. Um Ended up basically like when the buyers were at the property visiting and like we had already done the contracts and everything, they're there with contracts trying to transition them to doing the subject to, and they didn't tell me this was going on. And I get a call from Garth, very like upset, and he's like, Joey, what's going on? Like, I'm not doing a subject to. So I call the buyers, try to like put them in their place, and they're like, Joey, just let us figure this out. Like, this is the only way this deal is going to get done. We did the financials, we looked deeper into this. It's not netting what we think it's netting. This is going to be a hard sale. You know what I mean? So it's like they're let us, can we just get on a call? I was like, why don't we just get on a call, the three of us? And I was like looking at the situation, analyzing everything, and I'm like, you know what? This actually is the best situation for them to get this done. Like genuinely to get this done the quickest and actually close this thing for them. And at the time, Garth was getting sicker. Like he literally had to go in for a bone marrow transplant and he was getting sicker by the moment. And like basically, we did not know where his health was going to be. So it was lit like the definition of a ticking time bomb. Like we needed to close. This had to get figured out because if we couldn't get this closed in time, and God forbid something happened to Garth, Odette was going to be left running the long term care facility by herself with all the financials, the whole nine, a lot of stuff that Garth was handling. And it was just going to be not okay for her to be good. So his biggest thing was like he just wanted it out of his name for God forbid when before he went in the bone marrow transplant. So God forbid anything happened when he went into the bone marrow transplant, he was good. So he agreed to the subject to. We got part of it subject to. They gave them a gigantic. They actually released a gigantic. They paid off one of the loans before closing. So like they like that's what was the deciding thing was like there's nothing that's more concrete of us buying this because Garth and Odette's thing with them, they wanted to go back and stay at the property and like be there for like a week and just like really understand the business. And they're like, I'm down to train them, but we're not training them until they close. They need to close first and then we'll train them. And they're like, we need to go there to get training to start this thing because we don't have time to figure this out. And it's going to take a little bit more time to close this. But this is the only way that we could get the deal done. So they ended up putting $60,000 non-refundable in escrow. With that $60,000, that at closing, $40,000 was directed to pay off the first loan. The rest was a down payment, or it was I think the whole thing was actually to pay off that first loan, and then the rest was financed over time. We ended up doing a little bit of an owner finance blend because they did have about 100 grand in equity. So they did get some owner financing on it on top of, no, they didn't get owner finance. I'm sorry. They took over the loan subject to, and they brought in private money to close and get them their cash at closing. So they went out there, they got trained by Garth and Odette. They figured it out, closed the deal. Me and Justin made 20 grand. They made $70,000 on an assignment fee to themselves that the private money lenders paid them to buy it. Another company made 20 grand that connected us with these buyers. And we closed the deal. So we made 40 grand total on this deal. We were supposed to make $225,000. I mean, don't count the clear textbook definition of do not count your commission until it is in your bank account because anything can come up on these deals. So unfortunately, Garth went into the bone marrow transplant. He was doing a little bit better at first, and he ended up passing away. So literally, had we had not closed on this deal, I was actually in North Carolina when I found this out, and that's where Justin lives, and we were at the same event together. And I was like, just got home from the first day of the event, and Odette calls me. This was like 3 months after the deal, and she was like all upset, and I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, Garth just passed away a week ago. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I did shed a tear for him. I mean, that one actually like literally broke my heart a little bit because he was such a nice guy. But it was a blessing that we were able to get this deal done before this happened and that we actually were able to close this. Like the money's irrelevant, guys. What was relevant here was like literally we got the deal done for somebody that was actually in a really bad situation. Had Odette been left with the property herself, it would have been freaking it would have been a nightmare for her. She would have been grieving the death of her husband. She would have been having to manage this long-term care facility. She like it just wasn't it wasn't a good situation. And even during the bone marrow transplant, what we wanted was her to just be with Garth, not her having to train. So she was able to do that. She was by his bedside every single day while he was going through the bone marrow transplant, literally was with him the entire time of everything. And thank God she was able to. Garth is in a better place. If you guys believe in God, I definitely do. He's in a better place now. He's not in pain anymore. He's not suffering anymore. So that's the blessing out of all of this. And Odette doesn't have to live with the stress of managing this facility, that now she could just enjoy retirement, spend time with her kids, and be happy. So this is what this business will do, guys. This is like the stuff that the gurus don't tell you about. As Rita just said, a lot of these gurus say these deals close in 14 to 20 days. Some deals are quick, some take longer than others. Exactly. And some you got to dig deep and get creative and get resourceful here to figure out a way to close these things out. So that's what it takes to get to actually not just fuck the money, guys. That's what it takes to help people at a high level.
And think the bigger the problem you solve, the more money you make. So, like, if it wasn't for us, like, helping him out, imagine, like, where Odette would be, you know what I mean? Like, and then that would have affected the people who are actually staying at the long-term care facility, because then, like, he's not gonna be able to take care of them as much without Garth there. So then, like, the center would have got foreclosed on, people who actually stay there, their care is gonna go down so much. It took, what, 8 months? Just for our
8 months.
first 20,000. We thought we were gonna make 225,000, and it took, like, maybe 2 more months after we got the EMD back, we made the extra 20,000. Still, like, regardless, for anybody who's going through, uh, doing wholesaling, remember, don't count your eggs, count your chickens. You don't know what you're really gonna make until the deal's done.
It's such a fact, guys. And it's like usually we try to not get too emotionally attached to the deals. This one got me for a fact. But at the end of the day, it's like this is why we do this business. We do this shit to help people. If you're just in it for the money, like trust me, that 225, that it was so exciting and sexy and everything. But I even told Justin, I'm like, brother, even when we close this deal, if we close this deal, this will not change everything. We still need to close consistent deals. If we're just banking on this one deal to close and it closes and we make a lot of money, that money is going to go quicker than we got it. And that's the reality. So it's like if you're just focused on the money, you got to focus. I mean, from the business perspective, you need to focus on the systems. You need to focus on the consistency. I don't chase big dollars anymore. I chase consistency. But after that, if your only intention in this business is to be in this thing for the money, and me and Justin were just about the money on this, I promise you guys, first of all, when Garth found out about what we were going to be making on the deal, he would have canceled on us so quick it wouldn't have even been funny. Second of all, when the first buyer canceled the deal, they would have never extended with us and given us more time. We were in there almost a full year to get this thing closed. The only reason that it got done was because me and Justin were as genuine as you get on this deal. It wasn't about us and us making a quick buck. It was about we found a seller with a problem. We found a solution for them. We were willing to go to war for them because we cared about them and we cared about changing a bad situation for them and getting them out of it. And that's what it takes. Like, if you guys are just in this business to fucking make money and get rich quick, go work a fucking job. Go invest in the stock market. Go do some fucking crypto. You don't have to deal with people in that. But when you're in wholesaling real estate and we're dealing with de-stressed sellers, we're dealing with people that have real problems, you need to be in it for the right reasons. One, they're going to feel it if you're not. They're going to be able to read that shit right on you, smell that shitty breath you got. Two, like, you're going to fuck people over if you're just in it for the money. You're gonna see the big money, see the quick commissions, tell people lies so you can get there, and you're not gonna end up fucking doing the right thing. So it's like you need to make sure that your why is big in this business and you're actually a good fucking person. If you're a scumbag trying to wholesale, get the fuck out of my industry. Cause I'll run you through the ground so fucking quick it's not even funny. When we find out about you, we'll blacklist you, the whole nine. And it's just not, this industry needs good people. This industry needs people that realtors cannot do what we do. There are certain that can, there are certain that do. But the realtor model is meant to help retail sellers. It's meant to get as much for your house as possible when you have a house that is in very good condition. But when you have a house that's in distressed condition, you have a house that just got fire damage. When you have a house that just got fucking that hasn't been updated in 30 years because you haven't had the money to update it. When you're going through a divorce, you're going through a death, you're going through cancer, you're going through any of these tough situations in life, you need someone like us to help you to get you out of these situations because that's what our job is to do. But a realtor, they're not trained in doing any of this shit. They have their place and we have ours. We can coexist together, but it only happens when fucking you have the right people doing this stuff, not the shitty people. So make sure you guys are doing the right fucking thing.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. That's powerful.
100%. You want to give any last words before we hop off of here, Justin? Maybe a little soapbox or any recap on this?
Sure,
And
sure. There's so many gems on this. I mean, if you think about it, it all started with me reaching out to Garth back in like January of 2024 for a house in Florida. He wanted way too much for that one. I kept following up with him, kept following up until I think about August. So 7 months of follow up, nothing paid. And then in August, he finally says he wants to sell something in Michigan. All because I asked the question, do you have any other property or land? Because he wanted too much for his house in Florida. So if I didn't keep following up, if I didn't ask if he had any other property or land, we wouldn't even done this deal together. All that just to get a contract, and then fast forward from August 2024 to March of 2025, we finally make some money, but the deal doesn't even close. And think of all that time we're going through. We're stressing out. One, like, is the deal going to get closed? Are we going to get paid for our efforts and time we put into this? Most importantly, are we going to help out the sellers? And so we make a little bit of traction in March, and then it's like we're back to square one. Like, dang, is this going to get closed? Et cetera, et cetera. And then we finally get it closed out. But all that because we didn't give up. We didn't give up, and we saw the potential. And you got to be able to see the potential even when it's not directly there, which is hard to do. Yeah.
100%. Don't give up on the deals. Be in it for the right reasons, guys. And that's what's going to get deals done. That's what's going to help people out. And that's what's going to change our fucking industry. Just don't give up. If you guys knew my story, we're going to do more podcasts on it so everybody knows every little bit of my story. But I was dead broke for the first 3.5, 4 years of this business, living in my mom's attic. And I would not give up. We would have months where we would make 20, 30 grand, months where 6 months in a row where we wouldn't make any grands. And it was a fucking crazy journey. But now I'm at the point where my business is scaled. We have a beautiful team behind me. I have a community that supports me and I support them, and we've all fucking grow together. And I wouldn't be here right now if I had given up 2 years ago when the going got tough, negative $68 in my bank account, 4 months straight of not closing a deal after I had been doing it for 3 years with consistency or consistently doing it, not closing consistently. And then I popped my first 100 grand month, and it happened from not giving up. So that's what it takes, guys. Steffi in the comments said, guys, how can I learn? I DM'd you, or I sent a comment on here too. But if anybody you guys wants to learn what we do, we just dropped a $20 a month school community, literally one meeting a week, every week. And if you guys feel like you need more time with us, $200 a month. Justin is on the premium community. He's been here literally since the inception of the community. That's $200 a month, 3 calls a week. You get 25 leads a month. That's a JV program with us. So if you guys want to learn more about that, hit me up. I'll get on a call with you guys, explain whatever you guys need. Just shoot me a DM on Instagram first. That's the easiest way to contact me. And I will definitely respond from there. And if you guys need anything from us, we're here to help. We're here to serve. And we're here to grow. So, Justin, I appreciate you coming on. We're getting you back up here to do some live calls on your next day off.
I love being here. Yeah. Thanks for having me,
my
bro.
brother.
And just a little message too. Just a little shout out to the community. I'm just being honest, full transparent. Joey didn't even tell me to say this, but honestly, it's one of the best real estate communities that I've been a part of. What I love is its transparency. What guru is going to tell you, yeah, I had negative $68 in my account, but I kept going. What? They all make it seem like this business is so easy and that they're all successful from as soon as they started in this business. But Joey leads with transparency. He shows you all the cool tips and tricks, and he shows you the exact blueprint of how to even be successful. You just have to implement that blueprint. Sign up.
I appreciate you, Justin. And I did not tell Justin to say that, guys, but we're here. I appreciate you, my brother. We got the call today at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. I'm sorry. Still getting used to the time zone changes. 5 p.m. We got our call for the premium community. I'm fucking ready for that one. We're gonna give it all today. And yeah, if you guys need any help, just hit me up. I'm here to help you guys every single day. This is like I love the coaching side of my business. It is I'm very good at it. Not being cocky, guys. I just enjoy it, and like I've realized I can mold myself into other people, and that is like it. Not everybody can coach. A lot of people can do, but not everybody can teach. I absolutely have figured out that I'm pretty fucking decent at teaching people, and that's why people in the community are having success. We got Rita in here, who was in the comments. The deals are in the follow up. Rita just went
Oh.
full time 2 months ago. We were able to push him to take the leap. Justin's on the calendar to go full time as well very soon, guys. And that is what this stuff is about. It's about changing everybody's lives, getting you guys full time into this business. And I live in Medellin, Colombia. You can't see anything out my window right now. But sitting here in beautiful Medellin, Colombia, I do this business fully virtually. And that's what this is about. I want everybody to be able to do like the movement we're starting, guys, is to be able to do this from anywhere in the world. That's why I'm the shirtless closer. Like you literally just need a laptop, a cell phone, and some Wi-Fi, and the sales process that we have. And if you
A little
have
bit of
those things, and a little bit of hustle and time,
hustle.
and coachability, but if you
Yeah,
have all
yeah.
those things together, you too could do this from anywhere in the fucking world as long as you have those things. So, Justin, I appreciate you coming up here.
Thanks for
We're gonna
having me
run some
on,
lives
bro.
next week. I'm gonna hit you
Heck
up
yeah.
about this. We're gonna get you on so we could get it back going again because it's been too long, my brother.
Keep
And
going.
everybody else, go have a good rest of your day. I'm actually about to be right back up here making some calls. So my boy Tristan's gonna come up here. Justin, if you want to hop in, we'll talk about that too. You're more than welcome to, bro. But
Cool.
literally getting off this just to get right back on. But everybody, go have a good rest of your day. If you want to hop back in, watch us make some calls, close some deals, do the practical stuff, and we will get it. So peace out, guys. Go crush it.
Peace, y'all.